Good afternoon, gardening friends. Doing a little bit of a remote here to start out episode 4. I've come down to a local nursery that I found out about on the internet. I've passed by it a million times in the last 18 years, and I finally decided to come check it out, especially since I'm looking at buying a specific plant for my mother's birthday. But let's have a look. This place is right next to the freeway, but I mean, and it's large, really large, larger than I'm used to, at least from going to Home Depot or Lowe's. But they got a bridge over, you know, all this whole scenarios, and this is pretty impressive. Well, obviously that's a tool sitting there, but this is pretty impressive. Let's see what else I captured. Okay, I can't remember if it was from my own gardening plan or from my mother, but Nandina was one of the things I was looking at, and this is a Gulfstream Nandina, and just to kind of give you the habit of it a little bit, you can see down below what it looks like. But I guess I should apologize, A, for the sound because I'm on a different camera, and B, just for how I'm kind of stumbling around with my words because I'm a little overwhelmed by the size of this place. I'm just scratching the surface, but this appears to be the shade-tolerant area, I'm guessing, because of the cover there. Alright, so I'm on a quest. I just asked one of the workers here about butterfly bush, which is what I'm looking for, and he pointed out where it was, way down here. He did say I could drive down if I want, but I'll try and make a healthy walk out of it, and we'll get a look at it. Okay, folks, so I've been here for quite a while, and I've picked up what they call heavenly bamboo, Nandina domestica. I don't usually get into all those names, but it's something that I've seen online that when this thing grows out, it's going to just be this incredible punch of red. And I think I'm going to plant this in the 24 by 30 container that I have sitting over in that one area. I'll show you in a little bit. Or show you when I plant it, but that's the one that's got, one of those planters has bush, and the other one has a whole bunch of plants I just transplanted, so that's the plan. If anybody's interested, this place is actually called Garden View Nursery, or Garden View, what's it called? Yeah, Garden View Nursery. And they're just off the 605, so don't want to give you too much more information to tell you exactly where I live, but anyway, Southern California, and if you actually look carefully, you can see in the background there, you can see some snow on the mountaintops. This is kind of a nice view, right in between all the power towers. Anyway, until... Good afternoon, gardening friends. It's now, let's see, Tuesday the 15th, January 15th, a little past noon. Our tomato is doing nicely. I was concerned whether it was growing or not. I actually noticed when I went back through some of the older videos, as I've been composing the episodes, that I think when I first planted it was probably up to about here, and now it's up to about here. So that's quite a bit of growth. So the tomato plant's doing nicely. Survived a number of things. First of all, having it fall over, so I staked it. And then the cold weather that we've had, actually I need to go look up what the temperatures have been, but we've actually been below freezing in the last few nights, so and I haven't checked last night's numbers. I suspect it was actually even colder than they predicted, but we've been hovering around the, we'll say, 30 to 35 range overnight. It's supposed to start warming up a bit this coming week, so I'm finally getting back to watering. And I've been kind of afraid to put too much water on the plants for fear that when it gets cold at night that it might actually, the plants might freeze. I don't know if that's logical or not giving them too much water so that they don't freeze. But I just noticed, it looks like we've got our first little flower. I don't know how well, actually it looks like a couple of them growing right on there. So got a few little flowers growing on our tomato plant. We'll see if that turns into anything because it's kind of early for that. Moving on to the medium planter. The melon experiment is not doing well. Most of them at this point have turned brown. The one that was standing up is not doing well. So in the next couple of days I may just clear all of the stuff that I planted out and actually put some seeds in and see if anything actually sprouts. So that's a bit of a setback, but we'll be okay. It's still early January, or mid-January now, so nothing much to say on these two pots. I think I'm just going to give up on those. But the greens are doing nicely. We've got the butter crunch doing well, we've got the broccoli doing well, and the chard doing well, so they've survived the cold snaps. I saw something on the local news a couple of nights ago about the frost and how it destroyed somebody's chard crop. So I kind of felt sad for that guy. But my one chard plant is doing nicely. The 4 o'clock's not doing much. It's actually just looking deader and deader, so I'll probably give up on that and plant something soon. So that's it for inside. On the outside here, let's see what the nursery looks like. We had one plant that had one little sprout, so that sprout's still there. Nothing else seems to have sprouted just yet, so we got something over there, but I think that was already there. In fact, I think it's actually doing worse than it was before. We got the hanging planters up here, not looking really good, so we're going to have to come up with a plan for those. And then if we head over to the planters over here, I still have yet to actually pull out the good stuff and save it, and you can actually see where this was just like suffering for water, so the soil has retracted from the sides on both sides. But I'll see what I can do with this. I do have the Nandina that I purchased at the nursery, and that one has survived the last few nights. That was one concern when I bought it, but it seems to be doing okay. The newer plants in here seem to be doing okay. And we've got these, which I haven't figured out what to do with yet. And I cleaned out a lot of the sort of garbage here, not all of it, but a lot of it. And we'll see what goes on with this. Hopefully in the next couple of days I'll get around to actually cleaning a lot of this up. So I think that's it for today's update. Good morning, gardening friends. It's now January 17th at a little past 11 a.m. and let's kind of go through some updates here. As far as on the patio, nothing's really changed much. I didn't get out to do too much watering, but there really hasn't been that much need for it. The tomatoes doing nicely. The little flowers on there, I don't know how well you can see them back behind the stem. Well, we got some little flowers. We'll see if they turn into anything. I'm not expecting much because the plant's pretty young. Medium planter, it's starting to turn brown, so I'm thinking it's time to clear this out, and I'll put some seeds in there and we'll see what happens. The overnight temperatures are warming up now. We're no longer in frost danger. We've got basically I've only got the 3 plants out here because I haven't gotten to planting anything else, but butter crunch is doing good, the broccoli's doing good, and the chard's looking pretty good. And the 4 o'clock's, I'm about ready to call it dead. So it's just going to be a matter of planting seeds in a lot of these. I'm just got enough other things going on. I haven't quite gotten to them yet. But that's the update for the patio. Now let's go take a look outside. So most notably we've got the planters behind the pool building, what used to be the pool house. I haven't gotten to actually replanting any of this stuff. I haven't put the heavenly bamboo into its place yet, but we'll give them a little bit of water today. These are mostly living. And over on this end, I really kind of think this bush is actually dormant. And haven't gotten to replanting any of that yet. I'll take a quick look at the hanging planters. It hasn't been a whole lot of change, although I guess the stuff that's running across there is not doing all that well. Let me come around the tree here. And whoops, my tripod got caught there. These are doing about the same. There's no real major changes around here, and the other thing I could update you on would be the incubator inside on the windowsill. No change there, nothing sprouted yet, so there's nothing really to show you. So that's pretty much today's update, and if I get to planting some stuff over there in those big planters, then I'll let you know. That's it for today. Okay folks, so I wasn't completely finished, and I'm actually looking at these plants wondering if they're the same thing. The Nandina. These are already planted here in the complex, but there's a reason I bring that up. So does this look a little bit different? How about over here? Well, that's new. This has just been watered, that's all. But there we go. That's the reason I was wondering about it. Finally went ahead and planted the Nandina, cleaned up the planters. I pulled out any flowers that looked like they were still viable, planted them around here. And actually over on this end, that's why this one looks a little bit different, is I cleaned up the planter and did the same thing. I pulled out whatever plants were still viable and put them in there. And when I was done, I didn't want it too overcrowded because I want to give the plants, the flowers, or whatever they are, you know, the various different plants, I want to give them a chance to survive and thrive and grow and get bigger. So I took all of what remained of what was viable, and that's sitting over here. So now I have another supply of little plants for some other planter somewhere. Plus I've got these, which I keep thinking, what am I going to do with them? But anyway, that's the extended update for today. And unless I decide to do some more planting out on the patio. Good early afternoon, gardening friends. It's now January 19th, Saturday, at a little past noon. And I just want to give you an update for today, and then we'll post this as the next episode. Let's see, we'll take a look outside here on the patio. We've got the tomato plant doing nicely, and I've done a couple of little things. And I kept wondering, okay, is it growing? Is it really growing? You know, because plants don't always grow so fast that you can see it. I suppose bamboo would be one of those things where you could almost pretty much watch it grow, but tomatoes aren't really like that. So what I've done is, I think you can see the tape there on the board, and I've marked it as January 1st is approximately where it started, according to I went back and reviewed my episode videos to try and figure it out. And this is now the 19th, so you can see it up there. Let me do a little adjustment here. And so you can see that it has actually grown quite a bit since I planted it. What I've also done is on the stake that I have in there, I don't know how well you can see it, but there's a piece of green tape on the stake. So this is just something that I think I'm going to try and do with some of my plants, just so I can see how they're progressing. Don't know how well you can see that, but there is a piece of green tape in there. You just have to, maybe you can see the sort of the tail sticking out. But that's what I've done with that one. That's enough of that. Unfortunately, it looks like the plants here in the medium planter just didn't survive. They've all pretty much died. I have been watering, but they didn't take. Too many transplants, I think. So what I'm going to do is ultimately I'm going to plant some new seeds in here, but I'm actually going to have to move this planter. And I'm also going to have to move these smaller ones here. The plants are doing nicely, but we're actually having the railings painted around here. You can see some of the railings off in the distance there. We've had a lot of repairs done around here, and now it's time to get the repairs painted. It's just making this place look nice. So with that painting, we're actually painting most of the railings, and I do have a balcony above me, and that balcony has railings, and those are getting painted. So we'll get it all taken care of. But I'm going to move my plants just to protect them, and the one I can't really move is the large planter here with that tomato plant. So what I'm ultimately going to do is just get some clear plastic sheeting and drape it over and just kind of watch it from day to day as they do the painting, because we're anticipating the painting will take a while. It's not a one-day job to do so much exterior painting. So we'll watch it through the week. That'll be in the next episode, and that's mostly what I got here on the patio. Oh, there's one other thing I want to show you real quick. Hang on. Alright, so what I've done is I've turned around the plants that are sitting in the incubator, the windowsill, and just so I can give you a little bit of an update from outside. I don't know, I always have to do it from inside. I don't know how well you can see it, but in that first one, which is my experimental pot that I'm not telling you too much about, but I am getting sprouts, the Swiss chard and the climbing spinach aren't really showing me much, and I know there is a little bit of a reflection there. I don't know how well you can tell, but that's just a reflection on the window, not something in that middle pot. But that's how the incubator is doing, and I may add a couple more pots soon, but we'll see in the next episode. Now let's go look outside. And here's what we've got with the, oops, I forgot and left it on Zoom, with the nursery. I haven't really given you this kind of view in a little while, but there's really not all that much to show. And then we're into the plants that were already there. But that's what these seeds have done. Not a whole heck of a lot. Let's go take a look at the other planters. So here's the Nandina, and it's doing nicely with all the stuff replanted. Plants are still looking a little bit worse for wear around it. But I think after a couple more days and a little bit more sun, they should perk up a bit. That's what we're looking like on this side. And yeah, we got a little construction project going on around here, so I've moved some things around. It's not the paint, we got something else, but that should be done today. But you can see what these look like here. I cleaned that one up earlier this week too. So that's pretty much it for outside. I think that's it for this episode, unless something else happens later today.